Well, today's something I've also been putting off that I should be working on. I've been wanting to ride this more often to save some money. Like if I use this for my commute every single day, it saves me about $100 a week. But it's been getting a little sketchy because the way I have this front rack kind of guard piece on here is splitting this front fairing piece. I've tried to use epoxy in the past, which now I'm realizing may be a problem because I think there's epoxy now around the bolt, so that's fun. So anyways, my plan is to take a lot of these old license plate, well, 4 of them, cut them down to size so they kind of match the shape on the front and on the back side, and see if that doesn't give me some reinforcement. Otherwise, I don't know, we might have to try some kind of other kind of mounting plate, kind of like. Alright, that was easy. Got that out of the way. Oof. This side's pretty bad, not nearly as bad. Oh man. Alright. Yeah. A little off once there. Yeah. A little jagged. Just right there. I have to beat it with a hammer. So, it doesn't look that bad. Especially when I paint it. Of course, you got to get the 69, but and 96. But no, this is the quandary I'm having, and I'm thinking that this gap is telling me what I need to know. There's a big gap back here. As I was debating on whether just to drill this out and then like through bolt everything together so it creates a sandwich, or if this would create too much rattle. To fix that, I think I'm going to have to pop rivet all this together first. Cool. Didn't really want to do that, but I think it's gonna be worth it though. So now I gotta find that pop riveter, which leads me to another thing. I was debating on whether to work on this today and get it ready so I can ride more, and I've been putting this off even before I actually left for the island. I'm just so busy. Or clean this wreck of a shop I got going on here. It's just insane. Like right now, okay, cool, I want to rivet that. I'm not sure where my riveter is. I think I do, but at the same time, I'm not really sure. It's not on this rack, so it should be out here with fasteners. And one of the things like the staples, which I think is in here, which is kind of a thing. Uh-oh. Alright, well, I guess I'm going to put you guys away and figure out the hell I do with the riveter. I actually have 2 of them. Took me a minute, but I did find the riveter. Down there. Not a bubble. Yeah, I'll be right. I was debating about keeping it that way. Yeah, maybe I have to do it again. Start making our license plate bike. Save the rest of them, I guess. That's the first one. Right. That's what it goes. There we have it. Little flexes and bows. It's not really designed to hold weight up here. Kind of wish I could span something across to kind of lock them in, and I might in the future. It's just kind of a weird spot with all the cables and stuff that move in there. So I don't know. We'll figure that out more in the future if I have to. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with that so far. I took it for a spin around. Actually bumped into some of the workmates and we chit-chatted a bit. That was kind of fun. I have to admit, it doesn't sound like things are going very well over there, but that's neither here nor there. But they seem like themselves are doing quite well, so that's good. Anyway, yeah. For the most part, she's ready to roll. It's only mid-season, so it's so busy with stuff. It was a fun ride. There's a Tittabawassee River Road. It's kind of a dirt road here in town. It's kind of curvy and kind of ignored by the law, I think, on purpose, because a lot of college kids are there. But anyways, yeah, now I can get to this. Very cool. So I have this mostly wedged in here, kind of. But I want to put a sling around this battery to try to stop it from sliding around. And I think another wedge piece in here, made it of a 2x2. We'll do that here shortly. I got some breakers I got to hook up yet. And I try to make this unit fairly sealed up. So I want to figure out where I can place a fan, which looks like it's going to have to be down here. And I want to run all the outlets, the DC outlets, which are actually in the house right now. And also this extension outlet, I'm going to run off this inverter and have it actually kind of sticking out of the thing here. So that way I can, should be able to kind of waterproofish it, at least enough for rain. I don't plan like submerging this thing. So that way it can sit outside and we'll have more room in the tent, or hopefully when I build when I build like the little shack area, we'll have an area that we can put this in. But for today, I want to get the breakers hooked up, all the cabling hooked up, and maybe some other odds and ends. Because I'm also going to set this up, hopefully with a little compartment where we can keep extra electrical stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, and for whatever reason, at our Tractor Supply store, they never have red cables, and if they do, in this gauge, they're usually only, if they do have them in red, they're usually more expensive than the black ones for some odd reason. So, that's where red E-tape comes in handy. So, you can kind of see this kind of ball of E-tape that I put on the base, the negative wire going out of the inverter. And now I already have this one disconnected. And I don't know if we'll make the cut, but I was talking about spark gap and how that's kind of a thing. And I was already worried about this space between here, and I got to put some liquid E-tape on those to make sure the spark gap wouldn't happen. From what I seen, that wasn't the issue. These two cables, this one was aimed kind of in a downward position because the way that's mounted in. So because me doing that, I really couldn't adjust it upward. And it still seemed like about an inch or so space. Oh no, as I was doing stuff, I could see a couple of sparks jump. So I hit the breaker right away and took this the one off and started wrapping it up. And that's, I think it's 4222 or 2242. 2242 E-tape. And it's has no adhesive to it. It just sticks to itself for the most part. It's interesting rubberized stuff. It's really super insulative. So I wrapped the bejesus out of that one, and I'm about to replace the mounting on this to see if I can't get this one to aim upwards more. All right. Those all coated up too. Can't imagine, other than the jump of the camera. But it should be really insulated now. So yeah, let that be a lesson. Make sure your shit's insulated. And it was about at this time my computer decided not to work anymore, and I stopped using the camera because I didn't want to get buried in too much footage. But anyways, I did get the battery bank finished and got all the ports in place. Like I had mentioned, I put the fan up front because it seemed like I had a better overhang here, and did get a chance to test it out in a pretty decent downpour, and everything was fine. But then it was back off to Mos Blanc. A close buddy of mine was eager to go check out the place, so we finagled our schedules and headed up there, because you just don't say no to a trip to the island with a friend with a big truck and a love for chainsaws. Yep, it's just about all summered out. Because River Days is this weekend, so.
Really?
Yep.
Being busy.
And this is our last morning on the island. I didn't get a lot of footage of us on this adventure. We did travel around the island quite a bit and explored a lot, but during that exploration, there was a lot of conversation between two friends about old work stuff, old workmates. Some good and some not so good. And I was debating about how I could edit that while I had the cameras out there, and I just said, you know what, so we weren't self-conscious in conversation or anything like that, because we haven't seen each other that much. I just kept the cameras in the bag. And it was just two bros hanging out on the island. And I can't speak for Justin, obviously, but I know I had a really good time, and I'm glad that he helped with the island. It's fun to share in this kind of adventure with people, and I'm glad that we found the time to do it this summer. Just a 3-day adventure, but we got a lot done, and we didn't have to bust ass. Yeah, we just had fun. And I'll be back on the road, back on the ferry, in about 9.5 hours.